We have two Bible readings today. The first one is from Genesis 18, verse 1 to 2 and 9 to 14. The Lord appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre as he sat at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. He looked up and saw three men standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the tent entrance to meet them and bowed down to the ground. They said to him, "Where is your wife Sarah?" And he said, "There, in the tent." Then one said, "I will surely return to you in due season, and your wife Sarah shall have a son." And Sarah was listening at the tent entrance behind them. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, advanced in age. It had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. So Sarah laughed to herself, saying, "After I have grown old and my husband is old, shall I have pleasure?" The Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Shall I indeed bear a child now that I am old?' Is anything too wonderful for the Lord? At the set time I will return to you in due season, and Sarah shall have a son." The second reading is from Luke chapter 1, verse 26 to 38. In the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary, and he came to her and said, "Greetings, favored one, the Lord is with you." But she was much perplexed by his words and pondered what sort of greeting this might be. The angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And now you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you will name him Jesus. He will be great and called the Son of the Most High, and the Lord God will give to him the throne of his ancestor David. He will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there will be no end." Mary said to the angel, "How can this be, since I am a virgin?" The angel said to her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore the child will be born holy. He will be called Son of God. And now your relative Elizabeth, in her old age, has also conceived a son, and this is the 6th month for her who was said to be barren. For nothing will be impossible with God." Then Mary said, "Here I am, the servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word." Then the angel departed from her.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, good evening, and also hello to everyone online. For those who do not know me, my name is Edwin, and I'm part of a member of the MCC, and I feel very grateful but also very humble of being given the chance to talk with you tonight about Being Human Wisdom. This is the final part of Being Human series, and also I believe sort of a continuation of the 2 weeks ago Being Human Wonder by Denise. But also last week we celebrated 50 years of MCC Brisbane, and this is also the end of the year 2024. So I think it's very fitting if we have a little bit of Spotify rap, reflection of what have been going on in our life with MCC, our journey with MCC throughout 2024, and also even going beyond that. And I would like to invite you to start reflecting. In 2024, what has been the highlight of your journey with MCC? What has been the best sermon from Denise? And also, like throughout 50 years, if you've been with MCC for that long, what has been the most memorable part? But before I share what is mine, I also would like to introduce a little bit of my background to settle the expectation. When I read the Bible, I see a theme, and the theme for me is sacrifice. When our relationship with God was broken, I felt that God still wanted to have the relationship with humanity, therefore he asked Cain and Abel to make sacrifice, and it didn't go well actually. Throughout the Bible, in book of Leviticus, I think there was like pages of pages God explaining how should we do a proper sacrifice. The story of Exodus also, when God did the Passover, the Israelites had to sacrifice the lamb, and we put the blood on the doorpost to be safe. And Melchizedek, King Solomon, David, everything is all about sacrifice. And I think ultimately in the New Testament, it culminates with the most pure and holy sacrifice, that is, Jesus died on the cross. So Shane, if you expect me to talk about gospel of prosperity, you'll be disappointed. Yeah, because I'm mostly very influenced with this perspective when I interpret the Bible reading. When I myself reflect my time with MCC in 2024, I have several moments to highlight. The first memorable part, I think, when Denise talked about the widow's offering. Do you still remember? When Denise kind of reconstructed the story and our understanding on the widow's offering. And also when Denise discussed about the cobbler passage. I think it was very insightful and it saved a lot of life that night. I also really like David Bush's sermon on how humans love to put people in the box to the extent that we also put God in the box. It was also very, very great. I also like the being human from the perspective of trans people. It was also very insightful for me. So I wonder like what would be your favorite moment in 2024? If I have to think the grand scheme, what is my most memorable moment, Denise? It was your sermon on, I think, the series of wisdom. You discussed about book of Ecclesiastes. Do you still remember when we discussed about vanity? Everything is vanity, but then they say it's not only vanity, also smoke. Everything is smoke. It was very helpful, Denise, and I thank you for that. I also I think it was a panel, and Ben, our member, also shared his story about Salvation Army, and it was very insightful as well. So tonight, we'll talk specifically about being human, wisdom. In a nutshell, I think that the characteristic of being human is also because God gave us the grace of wisdom. And because of that, we can question what does wisdom in the Christian life look like. And also to understand what does wisdom in Christian look like, we can also have a look at what is the opposite of wisdom. So that's my goal tonight, to answer these two questions. When I think about the word wisdom, there are two figures that come to my mind, and I really admire these two figures. The first one is King Solomon, and the second one is obviously Jesus. When I hope you still remember the story, King Solomon was approached by two women who claimed that they are the real mother of a baby. And King Solomon said that, let's just split the baby in half. And then one of the women said that, please no, I want the baby to stay alive, just give the baby to the other woman. And because of that, King Solomon knew who is the real mother. I was very impressed by King Solomon because of his wisdom. I was also very, 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 very impressed with Jesus when he was tested by the people. An adulterous woman was brought to Jesus, and they said, Jesus, what will you do? Because according to the law, we have to stone her. Jesus did not say anything in the beginning. He knelt and he wrote something on the ground, and then he stood up and he said, those who are without sin, cast the first stone. And I was, again, very, very impressed. And I had that definition in my head, that wisdom means that we know what to say, know to say the right thing. And wisdom also means that we know what is right. We can choose what is best for us. And that's what I imagine when I'm thinking about wisdom. But as I look at the Bible reading and I look at different examples in the Bible, and I feel that wisdom is not only knowing what to say, knowing what is right, knowing what to choose. And the opposite of wisdom for me is not knowing what to say, not knowing what to choose. The opposite of wisdom, according to me, is abstinence. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Abstinence, being amazement. It's the opposite of wisdom. We can see throughout the Bible, actually, based on my Google search, there are 32 passages with the word abstinence, and it's mostly the apostle was abstinence when they saw Jesus appear in white, standing next to Moses and Elijah. They were abstinence. People were abstinence when Jesus did the miracle of the loaf. People were abstinence when Jesus cured the sick. The disciples were abstinence when Jesus ascended to heaven, to the point that the angel had to say, "Stop looking up. You have work to do. Don't just get, abstinence by Jesus." And who else was being abstinence? Even Herod was abstinence by the word of John the Baptist. Even Herod was abstinence by Jesus, and he was very curious of Jesus. But Herod and most of the people written in the passage about being abstinence just stopped at being abstinence. What is another example of being abstinence? I think it's go back to what Sophie has read earlier. We listened to the story of Sarah. Abraham got a visitor. 3 men visited Abraham, and apparently it's 3 angels. And then Sarah overheard that, at one point, Sarah, already old, but she would have a son. You know what she did? She laughed. When she heard that, I will have a son, she laughed. When I look at this example, I think that Sarah and me have a lot of similarity. Not Sarah MCC, Sarah in this story and me have a lot of similarity. When Denise asked me a couple of weeks ago, would you like to be here to deliver the message? I was very excited, very keen, very eager. I'm very passionate about this. I really love doing this. But also my instant reaction was laughing, like, of all people, me? As if like I have something interesting, important to say. I share it with my friends. I say like, look, I'm very grateful, I'm very excited. I'm given the chance to talk at MCC, but I'm also laughing at myself. I said to them like, as if I'm the wisest person in the world, that I will talk about wisdom. Another example, if you know me close enough, you know that I'm very obsessed with a Korean actor named Dio Kyung-soo and a Chinese actor named Ju Yulong. For me, they are hottest person in the world. Very hot, very cute. And I said to my friend like, "Ooh, I wish I could have a partner like Ju Yulong or Dio Kyung-soo." And my friend said, "Oh yeah, I will pray for you that you will have a partner like them." My reaction was like laughing at myself, like, yeah, right, as if someone like me will get someone as hot as Ju Yulong. I think at one point, if an angel appeared to me, "Hello Edwin, you have won God favor. You will have a boyfriend like Ju Yulong." I'll be laughing at the angel like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Yeah, Sarah had a lot of similarity with me because I got abstinence and smile and laugh. Like, this is not possible. But if you look at a different example, a similar situation, a virgin, mother of Jesus, an angel appeared and the angel said that you will have a son. Before that, actually, the angel greeted greeted, Mother of Jesus said, "Greeting, favored one, the Lord is with you." Mother of Jesus was astonished. She was perplexed. But then she did not stop at the amazement. She pondered. She pondered. And actually, in the Bible reading, there are a lot of examples from this Mother of Jesus where, it was at Christmas time, the shepherds came and they said that we bring message from the angel that there is this miraculous baby being born. And Mary again were amazed. All the people there were amazed. But Mary also did another thing in addition to being amazed or astonished. Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. So I think that wisdom in Christian life is also not only knowing what to say and knowing what is right, but also know how to treasure things in their heart, to appreciate silence, to ponder things that has been happening in your life. The implication, I think, is very, very important, because if we just stop at being astonished, we can be the next Herod in our days. We can be amazed at Jesus' word, Jesus' miracles, and we stop there. I was amazed at Denise's sermon, and I think we all agree that Denise is amazing in delivering the sermon. But we just do not stop at being amazed. We should treasure it, change our life because of the sermon. We can start asking in ourselves, will we stop going to MCC if Denise's sermon is no longer amazing? Will we stop going to MCC if the worship is no longer fantastic? Do we just go to MCC because we are astonished by this safe and welcoming church? It also has a lot of different implications. If you feel like you have nothing to say, if you feel like as a person you don't really know what to say, you feel like you don't know if what you're saying is right, this is actually a consolation for you tonight, that maybe you're actually closer to obtain the gift of wisdom. If you always have something to say, this is a good call for an exercise to appreciate silence and to treasure things in your heart. If you crave for amazement like me, this is also our call tonight. To stay still, to appreciate the mundanity. I always call it the joy of just enough. But it's very easy if we just being amazed by good things. If we are being amazed by a good sermon, it's very easy. But what if bad things happen in our life? We can also be amazed by bad things that happen in our life. It can be sickness. It can be a suffering. It can be challenges in our life. It can be a bad breakup. It can be many, many things. And usually when we got that kind of experience, when we have those bad things happen in our life, our first reaction was being astonished. We say, God, why me? Why me? And in fact, when I prepared this talk tonight, I experienced it myself. A couple of days ago, God gave me a gift. Suddenly, I have immense back pain, and I was bedridden for a couple of days. And luckily, because I was reading this, I tried to ponder, like, why me, God? Because I need to stand up here this evening. I need to walk, I need to be able to stand. But I tried to treasure it and ponder it. And I joyfully accept this back pain, because I think, my opinion, God wanted me to make sure that I walk the talk. Because it's very easy to say it, but I need to really, really walk the talk. back to my point on sacrifice in the beginning. If you encounter any difficulties, if you are currently feel that you are suffering, you can always find meaning and purpose in bad things that you can't change right away. I couldn't change my back pain right away. You can always find meaning and always find purpose in things that happen beyond your control in your life by offering it to God. I have a very good tool, a prayer that I learned from someone. The prayer is very simple. The prayer is, God, use this. And that's what I said to God when I had a bad pain. God, use this. So when you encounter suffering, I think it's also a good time to ponder, treasure it in your heart, and use it, and pray, God, use this. I'm about at the end of this talk. Is it too short, Denise, or is it too long? Hopefully it's a good length. So going back to our Spotify rap, let us recall again all the good things in MCC, all the sermon that you could still remember. Treasure it in your heart. Ponder it. Ponder upon it. May this end of year give you time to ponder, to meditate, to reflect what has been given